still want to come and visit your boutique.
Great. Well, with that segue, I want to say welcome to Monday Biz Motivation with the Culver City Chamber. I'm Candance Simmons. I'm a board member for the Culver City Chamber. I'm also the co chair for the Women in Business, and I'm a business owner. I own All That and More Boutique, and I have the pleasure of hosting these segments with Rafia Cooper, who's an ambassador for the Culver City Chamber. She's also a business owner. She owns Rafia Jewelry, and the Culver City Chamber is a connector of resources, people, and ideas. And this Monday Biz Motivation segment has been created just for that. It allows you to be introduced to various small business owners that support and service the Culver City community. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rafia, and she will introduce our guests.
Thank you, Candance.
You're welcome.
Happy gloomy Monday to all in Culver City today. It's a little
Right.
bit gloomy, but I really appreciate this platform, and it's been really great to get to know some of these businesses in our community. So, with that said, we are going to introduce Dr. Brigitte Rozenberg today, who is a chiropractor, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she works and where she works out of, and how long she's been doing this. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, ladies. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Sure.
you coming on. So tell us exactly what your specialty is.
So I'm a chiropractor, and I've been practicing in Culver City for over 25 years. I specialize in treating patients with spine and disc disorders and conditions. Primarily over the years, I treated patients that had trauma-related injuries after car accidents, different slip and falls, different work-related injuries. We worked with the studios, Sony Studios, for many years. So this has been kind of like my career path, treating injured people all day long, every day for so many years.
Wow.
Must be great to get them relief, though.
Yes, yes, it's very rewarding. Sometimes after being in practice for so many years, you kind of sit and think, okay, then what's your career path, or what's your mission or vision, and where you see yourself? And it's very rewarding. It's extremely rewarding to see patients come in severe pain, and being able to help them, at least if not immediate, over a whole treatment plan to let them get out of, leave the office with very minimal discomfort. So it's very rewarding for sure.
Yes, I love what you shared about bringing folks back to a better quality of life with more mobility. So,
Correct.
when you think about back pain, it's just very debilitating in terms of your mobility. It's very painful.
It really, really is. I actually, when I talk to my patients and they come in and they're in so much pain and they're, frustrated, they can't move, they can't walk. There's so many activity of daily livings they cannot do. We always talk about the fact, the good thing about back injuries or back pain is that it's not a life-threatening condition. So it's a good thing, but it's a very disabling condition. And that is what really hinders people from being able to move around or to kind of live their daily life without discomfort.
Wow.
Can you tell us a little bit about sciaticas?
Yes. So I specialize in treating patients with herniated and bulging disc. And sciatica is a condition, and it's kind of like it's a broad term. But sciatica is a condition that describes pain radiating from the low back to the leg, and it causes radiating pain. It can cause numbness and tingling. It can cause severe dysfunction. Normally, the pain is located in the back of the thigh, starts in the glute, and it can radiate all the way down to the foot. So there can be many different things that can cause sciatica symptoms. It can be a simple pinched nerve. It can be a muscle spasm that sits on the sciatic nerve. It can be a piriformis syndrome, which is a little muscle sits in the buttock area right on the sciatic nerve. Or it can be something more serious like a bulging and herniated disc. And when you have a bulging and herniated disc, it's like having a toothache in the back almost. It's extremely painful, and it's basically prevents people from walking, from sitting, from standing, from being able to do any kind of activity. Pain can be sometimes, we always gauge the pain on a scale of 1 to 10. So I have patients that tell me that their pain level is like 9 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 when I ask them. Very, very disabling and debilitating condition. But the good news is that it can be treated. And a patient does not have to live in pain. There's many different ways to treat this condition. Chiropractic care helps a lot, but there's always a situation that, you know, there's a plateau that you cannot reach with regular physical therapy and chiropractic care. So we offer a very specialized treatment to treat sciatica and herniated disc. It's called non-surgical spinal decompression. And non-surgical spinal decompression is a very high-tech equipment. It's basically it's a table that it's all computer generated and computer, you know, it kind of operates with a very high algorithm system. And we basically have a patient get an MRI. Patient needs to have an MRI so we can actually confirm and identify the location and confirm the finding. And then we input all this data into a computer that's attached to the table that they're being harnessed in. And we basically stretch and target a particular disc in question. So if it's a sciatica related symptoms, we know the location of the spine where it is, that we will confirm with the imaging. And the treatment is extremely effective. It's very safe. And it basically stretches the spine in such a way that it allows the hernia to be sucked back in, like creating a negative pressure. We always give this analogy that it's like a plunger. You know, when you use a plunger, you create a negative pressure and it allows the material to be sucked back in to the system. It's the same thing with a disc. And so when you are providing that relief and you're creating that negative pressure in the spine, you allow the disc that's being herniated to be sucked back into place. And
is that painful?
It's not painful at all. Zero pain. It's extremely soothing and it's very comfortable, and you have to do it over a certain period of time. Every treatment is runs from 12 to 26 minutes, depending on the severity of the patient and where that patient is in treatment. But it's extremely effective.
And how many treatments before you notice a change?
Even patients that have. So the basic treatment, this is all based on research, the research that's done in Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins and different very high-ranking universities. The basic treatment is 20 sessions. We always go between 20 to 24 sessions for a herniated disc. Even if they have multiple discs, degenerative disc disease, those conditions that we treat, you know, we gauge it between 24 to 30, depending on the severity of the patient. It's very custom made, and it's custom tailored to each individual patient and their needs and their findings. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not one size fits all. But the good thing is, you know, the research have shown the disc can heal itself, even though everything we do is in an upright position. We sit, we stand, so there's constant pressure on the spine. But if you will give the disc the right environment, it will heal itself. And with the non-surgical decompression, what we do is it provides water and oxygen to be flown into the disc naturally. It's the body's own reaction of healing. So it will heal. We're just basically providing this right environment for the disc to heal itself by sucking it back into place, because we decompress the spine, and by allowing the body to send the water and oxygen. So it's extremely effective. It's non-invasive, it's very safe, and the results are based on research. 90% of our patients get 90% improvement, which is a really, really good ratio.
That's great.
That's a very high number.
So now, is this a specialty, doctor, or is it something that every chiropractor is certified in this technique?
So every chiropractic can be specialized and certified, but it is a specialty. We are nationally certified. We are part of Disc Centers of America. So also every employee in my organization are certified. We go through rigorous training. The equipment that we own in our centers is very high tech. And we own the best thing that basically all the research is made on. So you know, again, it's not it's not one size fits all. It depends on which route you want to go, but it is a very specialized treatment.
I think folks are probably relieved when to hear you say it's non-surgical.
Absolutely.
It's not at all. So we basically, my mission in the, I guess in the next 25 years of my career, because I've been doing it for so long, I started in a small medical group. It's called the Medical Group of Culver City on Overland and Braddock, for those of you
Wow.
who know. And I was the chiropractor there a long time ago. We served the studios. It was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm now on Washington Boulevard, and I lost my train of thought. Oh, so it's a non-surgical treatment. So I decided the next 25 years of my career, I said, you know what? We're going to have to provide patients care and a non-surgical, non-invasive, safe and effective measures and treatments and protocols. And we use a lot of very high-tech equipment because, you know, technology is evolving. I always say to my patient, you know, the cell phone you have today is not the cell phone that you had 10 years ago. It's a different thing. So you can only imagine medical technology. We have very, very good equipment for pain called electroanalgesia. We have class 4 lasers that are extremely effective, and all of which are non-invasive, non-surgical, and we are the Natural Pain Management Center of Culver City, if you want to call it that.
Beautiful.
And we also use a topical cream. I don't know if you can see it in the background. It's a cream that I created. Mineralgia. Yeah. It has Dead Sea salts. It's extremely effective for pain and inflammation. So we take the whole thing. We encompass everything. In the office treatment that we send the patient home with, the creams, we give them different little tools and little gadgets they can use at home for care. So instead of giving them a prescription, we give them mineralgia and other things as well to help.
Yeah, I watched a video where you talked about the product, and what stood out to me was that it said healing. Most topicals are pain relief, but this one actually said healing. What makes your product stand out as healing versus pain relief? Is there a difference?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right. So my product, Mineralgia, is one of the main ingredients in Mineralgia are the Dead Sea salts. See, I'm originally from Israel. So the Dead Sea is extremely therapeutic. It's very rich in minerals that are very helpful for any arthritic condition and skin conditions. So the Dead Sea and the magnesium and all the minerals that are in the product make it more healing versus just pain relief. There is a pain relief component to the product, but salt acts as a magnet to inflammation. So when you put the cream on an area of inflammation, it actually decreases the inflammation, and that's what makes it more healing versus just to numb the pain. So, and it's all natural and very safe. And so you can use it 5 times a day. You know, it's not something that you have to limit the use per day. So it's really great. You should try it.
I like that it's topical and you're not taking a pill.
Right. I was very intrigued because I didn't see, it seems like everyone has jumped on the whole hemp and CBD bandwagon, and there was nothing on your website that had any of those products or no mention of those types of ingredients. Do you have any thoughts about the topical CBD treatments?
I mean, CBD is very effective for some patients. We are the CBD alternative. We do have athletes that use our products and they cannot have anything CBD related because they do get tested and you never know how it appears on the tests. Again, it's like everything else, it's the quality. For those patients that really benefit from CBD and they're not affected by whether they can have it in their system or not, if it's a good quality CBD, they'll get the relief. But, there's always you always want to give a patient and the public an option and a choice. Some people don't want anything with CBD or not, or they're allergic, or they cannot have it for whatever reason, whether it's work, they don't want to get tested, or if it's an athlete, like I mentioned. So we are the alternative. It's just another way of looking at things. We don't have CBD, but we have the salt, and the salt is really good for inflammation. CBD is great. I don't know. I don't want to give you any wrong information, but I think CBD is very, very good for pain relief versus, say, you asked me about the healing component.
Right.
Right. Wow.
So when you say you've had 25 years of working in Culver City and 25 years in the industry, and you've created a product, so you've really have the experience, you've upgraded your technology. What is your inspiration? What brought you into this area as far as being a doctor and serving the community? Who or what was your inspiration for that?
Well, my mother was a physician, so I always was drawn to that field. I really love working with patients. I enjoy that very much. You know, when you do anything in the healthcare space, you deal with people that have problems. They're in pain. It's frustrating. They're emotional. It's like a whole array of things.
Right.
It's very, you have to have the personality for it, but it's very satisfying to see a patient that comes in and is so much in pain, and you are able to help them, and they leave and say, thank you so much, you really made a difference in my life. We can't all make difference in everybody's life, but if you find something that you do that can really help someone, it's very satisfying. It's very rewarding. And for me, I always enjoyed working with patients. And I guess it's just a natural thing that kind of fell in my lap. So I love doing what I'm doing.
Was your mom in the same field, or was she a different type of doctor? Was she a chiropractor as well?
So my mother was a family physician. And she always had this personality, and I'm talking to her in past term because unfortunately I lost her a few years ago, but she was very passionate about what she was doing. She was passionate about helping people and getting them to the right place. As a family physician, you see array of different conditions, but you're able to refer them to different specialties. So growing up, I saw that. Oh, we need to arrange that, referral for this patient, or that doctor specialist for this patient. It was something that I grew up with, so it was kind of like a natural thing for me. I fell into chiropractic. I went myself to a chiropractor. I was involved in an accident, and it helped me a lot. I really like the connection with the patient. I like the fact that it's more natural and less invasive. You know, sometimes you do things and you don't really know why. It just naturally happens. It's kind of like your mission in life.
Right.
But to me, I've been, 25 years is a long time.
It is a long time. Do you recommend that everybody should see a chiropractor and get adjusted regularly? And how often?
So, I heard it, one scientist said that you're only as healthy as your spine is. The central nervous system controls everything in our body. It controls our well-being. So just like you need to clean your teeth periodically, just like you need to do other things, you need to eat healthy, just like you need to replenish yourself with water and with right nutrients and vitamins and minerals, you need to take care of your body. And so chiropractic adjustment, it's just maintaining a good spinal health. And if you have good spine health, you have good nervous system health, you just feel overall much better. Whenever you start feeling a little bit more tense or sore, or a little injury that's gone untreated, and you just let it go, because we are adaptable beings. Like, we can kind of adapt to any situation. Our body can recover. It's okay. I'm just gonna take an Advil. I'm just gonna go for massage, which is fine. You can, but if it goes untreated for a very long time, then it kind of has other residual symptoms and other residual effects. Just like in anything else, if not treating your teeth when you have a toothache, it's fine. I'm just gonna take something. It's gonna go away. Or any other condition, or going to the sun without putting any sunscreen on your face. These things will progressively get worse if they go untreated. So, chiropractic, it's not a luxury, or it's not something that only if you're, injured you can go. Maintaining a good spinal health is very important for your general well-being.
It's good to know. Never heard it put that way, but that's a good thing to consider. So thank you.
You're
Definitely. And are you seeing that since you've been in this business for 25 years, have you seen changes as far as our symptoms because of being on the phone more, or you know, being on our smartphones, iPads, our computers, our things, different things showing up because of it?
Yes, definitely. It was interesting you're asking me. I was just interviewed the other day for a I think it's a small business something, a blog. But you know, there is a condition now that we all address called tech neck, which is basically because you constantly sit on the phone and you're constantly this way. So you put a lot of pressure on your neck. And it's not only young kids, you know, it's adults too. We all are guilty of the same kind of behavior. So tech neck is a condition it's relatively a new condition, and it's basically describing patients that have or people that have neck pain and mid back pain, and then shoulder pain and headaches, and these, like I just said, these tech neck symptoms can progressively develop into so many other symptoms if it's gone untreated. Because they're like, I just have a little tension here. Let me just rub something. Let me get a massage. Let me stretch, which is fine. You should do that. But sometimes if it's a little too much and you're on the phone for a very long period of time, you put so much pressure in the back of the neck that, again, you can cause other things that will develop as a result of that. So patients that have headaches or shoulder pain in their neck and then pain radiating to the shoulder blades, or burning sensation between the shoulder blades, or then taking an even few steps further, numbness and tingling in their hands. There's just all this pressure that you put on that neck and on all the musculoskeletal system in that area can cause a lot of symptoms. And the symptoms starts very mild, just pain, but then they progressively get worse and worse. And that's definitely a new condition. Tech neck was not present 20 years ago.
I'm smiling.
I think it's in the last 10 years.
I can so relate.
Right. I think since you mentioned it, Rafi and I both changed our position and sat up straight and just our neck.
But we're all guilty of that. Like, your phone is there. That's what you automatically do. You just automatically go, flex your neck forward.
I can't wait to tell my husband, put your phone down. You're going to get tech neck.
Exactly.
I'm like,
the
look
best
at
thing
me.
to do is when you
What
sit,
about your fingers? What about your fingers? Aren't they
too.
getting?
I have patients that have pain in their thumb area right here in their wrist because they constantly type. Anything you overuse, will cause injury. But the best thing to do with tech neck is you want to try to keep your computer screen and your phone screen at eye level. I know it's hard, but then you sit back. It just has to be, versus doing this, you just want to make it more at an eye level, because then you don't put too much strain on your neck.
It's hard to do.
I know.
Those ring lights
I'm guilty too, so I hear you.
Yeah, those ring light stands will come in handy now. They'll be off, but it'll be holding my phone.
I also find that, like, the way I sit in the car has a lot to do with my pains and aches and stuff, Do you find that you get a lot of that?
Yes, of course. Any posture. Ergonomic is very, very important. So any postural things you can do. If you sit in the car and if either you have too low of a car, too high of a car, to sit is not comfortable. So get yourself a pillow to put behind your back to, kind of give yourself a little bit more curvature. I mean, if it's too low of a car and your knees are too elevated, depending on how short or tall you are. I mean, all these little things. I mean, a lot of people now work from home because of COVID. So they're ergonomically, their house was not set up to be an office. Right. So they work on their bed, they work on the sofa, they lean back, they lean forward, they're on the couch. So definitely, it's very difficult because this was such a sudden change to so many people. The more ergonomic you can make your place of work, the better or the less injuries you can have. So always like 90-degree angle, good comfortable chair, your arm have to be comfortable with the desk, and it's like on and on and on. But it's pretty easy to fix. Like, for example, I have my computer on a box because it was just too low, too high. I felt like I'm not balanced. So, you just have to make the changes, whatever you can do to make it work.
Great information. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Would love to.
So we're at a point where we can talk about motivation?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Candance.
So we have to ask you, Dr. Brigitte, What's your motivation? We've just come across, we're coming through a very challenging year, and I'm sure your business was impacted in some way. You've shifted, you've pivoted, and now there's things are reopening. So through it all, the question is, what's your motivation? What motivates you to do what you do?
So I very much enjoy what I do. I found my calling, if I should call it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy working with patients. I very much enjoy going through their symptoms, taking a very challenging situation or condition that was never resolved or wasn't properly addressed, and
Mm-hmm.
finding different solutions that would give them the quality of life that they deserve. There's really nothing that's motivates me more than having a patient that comes in tears because they're in pain and leaving in tears because they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. You guys changed my life. It's extremely rewarding in many different, and these are difficult conditions with difficult cases that, and I'm not saying because we, cure everybody's problem or do things better than anyone else, but we just bring a different outlook, a different angle of evaluating a condition that maybe in the mainstream they were treated one way and never find a result in a solution. And if you kind of think outside the box, you find other treatment plans, other modalities, or other things that can help the patient. It's very rewarding. So really, if I think about that, that's very motivating. I see a lot of patients that are in a lot of pain because, chiropractic is a profession. It's many different realms. You can be a chiropractor that specializes in nutrition. You can be a chiropractor that specializes in sports. You can be a chiropractor that just does regular family wellness and children. Or you can be someone that does more trauma and injury and more, not extreme cases, but more severe cases. And that's kind of like where my career path took me. I always treated patients after trauma. I always treated patients after car accidents. So this was concussion and whiplash, which is a different kind of trauma. And now in the last several years, I've always treated the sciatica, the herniated disc. It's just once I decided to bring all this extreme high-tech technology and all the advanced things that are, approved by the FDA and more kind of prevalent. The results and the patient that I see it's just unbelievable. So, to me, even through COVID, you mentioned COVID, we never closed. We just kind of closed for a little bit of time because we were essential. And I had patients that came to me and I'm like, are you sure you want to be here? It was an older individual, it was a time that everybody said, if you're too old, if you're too this, if you have pre-existing, try to stay home. And I remember asking him, I'm like, are you sure you want to be here? Are you okay with this? We follow OSHA, and we follow the CDC guidelines, and we keep everything clean, but still. And he said, if I would not be in pain, I wouldn't be here. I have no other option. I have to be here. So it's like it gave me this moment of silence. I'm like, well, I guess that you're not going to come here if you don't really need to come here today, given the fact of what's going on. So we were able to kind of navigate through it. We shortened our hours. We saw less people. Before COVID, we were open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That was a long day.
But
now we're, kind of adjusting to the need.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you. It sounds like your patients in that moment, to know that, hey, there's all these things out there and they're being advised to stay home, but yet they're seeking you out because they're in pain and they're like, I trust you. So that's why I'm here. So that's encouraging.
Oh, for sure. They if they're not in pain, they're not coming.
Right. Right. So Rafia, how about you? What's your motivation? What's motivating you this week?
I think I'm motivated to get things done and stay ahead of it. So I have a lot of stuff to do, but I need to do a lot of prep work. So I think prepping is my motivation for this week.
Awesome.
How about you?
Well, I've mentioned this a couple of times, and this is actually the week of, we're celebrating 11 years in business. And my designers have come through with amazing products, from signature scents for the boutique to build our brand, to signature clothing, garments, items, dresses, things of that nature. And now is the week where we invite everyone out. It took us a while to figure out exactly what we were going to do, but just keeping in line with where people would be comfortable. We're going to invite folks out this week. 111 folks is what we're asking to come through to celebrate our 11th year in business. And folks are already saying, put me down. They're pre-ordering things. They're like, I want to be there and support you in this 11-year business. And just like the doctor said, it's just when people show up saying that they want and need what you have, it's just so encouraging and it keeps me motivated.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's
congratulations.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's great. Well, should we do our upcoming events?
That's a nice little setup you guys have with this chamber.
Thank you. Yes, it's definitely something that we saw the need coming out of COVID and moving through COVID, where it's a great opportunity to let our folks know who's here, what you do, and how you're doing it. So what you shared today, I'm sure folks will be reaching out to you.
And also technology has made it so easy that you can be in your location, Candance can be in hers, and I'm on mine, you know, and we can do this. So very grateful for it.
And
although
I'm
it's
even
not
on the other side of town today because I know that you wanted me to do it today, which is awesome and amazing. But I'm not in my Culver City physical office. But see, yeah, technology, it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. It's not great for our neck, but it's amazing.
Right. We'll avoid the tech neck and watch our posture and get little handles to hold our equipment.
Correct.
You had mentioned earlier, how can folks reach out to you? And also you mentioned it's something along a second opinion if folks wanted to bring something to you that they could bring. It's an MRI, I believe you mentioned, and you would take a look at it and do a consultation.
Yes, true. So if anybody has an MRI with some positive findings that would diagnose with a herniated or bulging disc or degenerative disc disease or spinal stenosis or anything that they kind of went through the regular route and they were either given medication or injection or suggested surgery or whatever the case may be, I am always open and available to do a free consultation and review their MRI report so they can at least have another opinion. Someone else is looking at it from another angle. I always take the time to be very thorough and actually explain to the patient what they have. Most of the people don't really know what they have. They were just thrown all these terms and they're like, it's scary and it's like, I don't really know what to do. All they know that they can't do certain things that they used to. So I'll be more than happy to review their MRIs and do a free consultation if they have that, and if they don't have the MRI in their possession, we can always have them sign a medical release, and the MRI facility will always send it over to us. We have a relationship with many facilities, so we even have a way of logging in and getting the information once the patient gives us the authorization to do so. So this is something I'm willing to do to anybody that wants to reach out. The name of my website is the Spine and Disc Center. Very simple. Spine and Disc Center in Culver City. They'll find me. I'm on Washington Boulevard, close to west of Centinela. And and we sell mineralgia and give mineralgia to all of our patients if they have pain and they want to try something non-invasive. They're welcome to either go to our website, mineralgia.com, or they can come to our office and we'll give them a free sample and they can buy it in our office if they'd like to. So we are here to serve the community. We want to work with the people of Culver City. I've been in Culver City for so long. I mean, I was, in the chamber for many, many years ago, and things are just changing. So I'm happy I love Culver City. I've been in this community for forever, and I love serving the community.
25 years says that Culver City loves you back.
Yes. I love
great.
That's great. So we have all your information is going by across the screen, so people can reach out to you and contact you. And for anybody who's watching, if you have any questions, you can please make a comment. She can answer the questions as well.
Yeah,
for you.
I'd love to. I don't know. Is it going to come on my chat? Where am I going to see them?
We'll read them if they come up.
Okay.
Yeah. We will
and because we're getting ready to end the session, there will be questions that'll pop up on our website. So if it's not something you see, we can definitely send it to you and ask that you.
Yeah, I would love to. No problem at all. I'm here to help anybody that needs help.
Wonderful. So some of our upcoming events for the chamber this week. You want to start, Candance? Go ahead.
Sure. So there's a session this week where we've partnered with Kaiser Permanente, and it's on mental health and wellness. And there's an event on Thursday. These are all free sessions. All of the sessions that we're going to mention, you can go to the Culver City website and register. But this session is coming up on May 13th, and it's from 12 to 1:15, and it's all virtual.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And then we have our bi-weekly COVID-19 Business Roundtable. It's Monday, May 17th at 2:30 p.m.
And we
That's
have our
great.
government affairs event on Tuesday, May 18th from 4 to 5. And this is for members only.
We have our Coffee and Commerce on Wednesday, May 19th from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is a virtual event, and we host this once a month. So anybody who wants to do some networking and, really connect with people are welcome to come. Dr. Rozenberg, I hope you join us too for this one. It'll be great to see you there.
Yes, I will definitely. I'm gonna definitely put it on my calendar right now. I have Maria put it.
Next up on May 20th, we have Convo with the council member, and that's on a Thursday, and it's from 4 to 5. So bring your questions. Our council member definitely comes and shares very candidly the things that are taking place in our community and how we can get involved and share our thoughts and opinions on upcoming things in Culver City.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that concludes our events.
Yes.
And we have to go, right? But we want to thank Dr. Rozenberg for coming on today and sharing all your thoughts and everything that you work with. We appreciate all the things that you've shared. I know I really learned a lot, and I'm appreciative of that. And I'm sure that you will get some contacts from certain people that might want you to help them.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me. I'm very
Sure.
grateful to be part of your show. That was
Yes.
awesome.
Back pain and neck pain are no joke.
No.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. We know that there are folks out there that want to connect with you. So thank you again for your time.
Of course. I'm always available. Just
Thank
a phone
you.
call away.
Great.
Thank you. And thanks for being a great member of our community in Culver City.
Thank you. Of course. It's my pleasure. Planning to stay here for a long time. Yeah.
All right. So that concludes our show for this week. Join us next week as we have another special guest. And we look forward to seeing more of you next week.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, ladies.